I don't know what it is about PTS, but they just do not miss when it comes to their furniture, their accessories, and now full-blown airsoft models as well. Today's episode, we're going to be covering the PTS partnership with ZEV Technologies and all the really cool looking products that have come out. What's going on, guys? Isaiah is here. For those of you who are not aware who PTS is, they are a brand that have been around for a very, very long time, supplying airsofters with quality external components and accessories, and most importantly, being able to partner up with many real steel firearms licenses and making airsoft replicas to really enhance the immersive gameplay. Today we're going to be going over specifically PTS's partnership with ZEV Technologies. And for those of you who are not aware who ZEV Technologies are, they have also been around for a very long time, a very well-known and reputable brand offering custom services and components for real steel firearms as well. It actually makes a ton of sense why PTS would partner up with them and offer the same level of quality, but just in airsoft form. The first model we're going to be talking about is going to be PTS's newest offering in the ZEV Technology lineup. It's going to be the ZEV OZ9 Standard Elite Gas Blowback Airsoft Pistol. Going over the externals of the OZ9, this looks and feels like a high-end airsoft pistol should. Everything from the super lightweight slide on here with all the aggressive serrations and cutouts, and with the very durable and textured polymer grip on here, it just feels really good. Going over the slide in further detail, it is going to be made out of an aluminum construction, making it very lightweight and durable. As this is an actual replica of the real OZ9 pistol that exists out there, you will find the correct markings throughout. Nice attention to detail, PTS. You do get a nice little fiber front side and blacked out rears, but let's be real for a second, you're not going to be using that whatsoever because the slide is already ready to take your favorite red dot sight on there. You're going to be using that primarily. The OZ9 slide being able to take a red dot sight is actually a very big deal. There's not too many. In fact, dare I say, this is one of the very few G-style gas-blowback pistols out there on the market that can take an optic right out the box, which kind of leaves me wondering, what's going on, everyone else? You know, everyone and their moms in the real firearms world is running an optic on their pistol. What's going on with airsoft? The Elite Force, I know you have your Glocks, but none of them can take an optic right out the box. And this goes for everyone else as well. Where are all the G-style pistols that come optic ready? Moving on to the grip, like I mentioned earlier, it is going to be made out of a very durable polymer construction. I love the fact that there are no finger grooves on this whatsoever. It's definitely more of a straight flush design. I actually like the extended beaver tail as well, and just the angle feels incredibly comfortable, more so than stock G series style pistols out there. And of course, towards the front, you do get the lower accessory rail, perfect for any sort of accessories of your choice. Some other things to keep in mind regarding the OZ9 gas blowback airsoft pistol in terms of its externals has got to be its enlarged magazine release. I really appreciate an enlarged magazine release on any gas blowback pistol, especially this one. It is actually reversible, so all you left-handers can continue shooting the incorrect way. I also appreciate the nice little texturization they offer on the button itself. The trigger is using a traditional style trigger with your classic G series style trigger safety on there as well, and the slide lock is going to be that of a standard G17. One small thing that not many other companies do that PTS did for the OZ9, which I greatly appreciate, has got to be the inclusion of a thread adapter. Thank you. Finally, yes, again, there are too many companies that don't include that. Thankfully, PTS has included it for all you speedy boys specifically, so that way you can mount all your favorite trace unit and or flash devices. Internally is where things get interesting for the OZ9, as internals are going to be compatible with Tokyo Marui G series style internal components, specifically the Gen 3 and Gen 4 variations. PTS, however, didn't just stop there at TM upgradability. No. They went ahead and included some internal upgrade components right out the gate. And this is going to include a reinforced nozzle, reinforced piston and nozzle spring, 603 Type bore inner barrel, and a 70-degree bucking to boot as well. As one would expect, with the inclusion of all these upgrade components right out the gate, the performance is going to be spectacular. It is going to be incredibly snappy, even with the inclusion of a red dot sight on here. The range and accuracy are going to be a step above the rest, as again, it is going to become included with that Type bore inner barrel and that much stiffer bucking compared to a lot of other stock models out there. It just offers way better performance than a lot of other models that are currently in existence. While all those included upgrades sound absolutely spectacular for the OZ9, the most interesting fact about it has got to be its modular chassis system. For those of you guys that are familiar with ZEV Technologies' actual OZ9, that should sound very, very familiar because it's going to be replicating the exact same takedown system simply by removing the slide and this front pin here on top of the trigger guard. You will be able to access the entire guts of the OZ9 itself. This includes the trigger and hammer assembly and everything else you need to in order to be able to quickly disassemble, diagnose any sort of issues, and put it all back together very conveniently. I think it's really sick that PTS decided to replicate ZEV Technologies' modular chassis system and implement it into their OZ9 just like the real deal. And this actually opens up a lot of room, a lot of potential for customization later on down the road. Just like with the P320 platform or just like with the KWA ATP GT series, imagine being able to swap out the modular chassis system, being able to take that entire unit and then swap it into a completely different grip module, or maybe even in the future, we can have carbine kits to look forward to as well, varying styles of grip modules. Hopefully PTS, you are listening and you're getting on this because, come on, where's all the other stuff out there? I want it now. I'm also really enjoying the included magazine that the OZ9 gives you, as it is incredibly efficient, offering around 2 magazines worth of shots before it needs to be refilled on gas. The rubber bait plate is also greatly appreciated on there, offering just a little bit more protection in case you were to drop your magazine. After all that being said though, I still have one small gripe about the PTS OZ9. It's the fact that it's TM spec. Why not just make it Elite Force spec? The Elite Force Glocks have been around for some time. The Elite Force Glock is the only legal airsoft Glock that can be sold in the US, so the PTS OZ9 is a premium gas-elect airsoft pistol and thus will offer premium build quality and premium performance. Right now at Airsoft GI, you can get the PTS OZ9 Standard Elite gas-elect airsoft pistol for $220. Make sure to take advantage of the Wombo combo for reward store credit and free shipping. $220 is definitely a premium price for a gas-elect airsoft pistol. Now, I know a lot of you guys watching this right now might be thinking to yourself, that's so expensive, $220, that's quite a lot of money, almost the same as you would spend for a decent primary. But when you break down the price, it actually makes a lot of sense. Let's say you wanted to achieve the same performance, but out of any sort of gas-elect airsoft pistol out there. Well, we can go about that route. Let's start off with a optic-ready high kappa. Those usually run the gambit about $140, $150. Then you include the cost of all the upgrade components as well. Then you're looking at about the same retail price as the OZ9 itself, but there's one big difference. You have to do the installation for all those parts yourself, or you have to spend more money for a tech to do it for you. The other way you can go ahead and do it, say if you wanted to achieve the same sort of look or aesthetic as the OZ9, same platform and everything, well, all right, we got to start from square one. Grab yourself a TMG series pistol. It's going to run the gamut about $180. Then you got to get yourself a new slide that's going to be optic ready. That alone, minimum will be about $300. And then all the internal upgrade components, even the frame itself, because you will need a new one at that point. Yeah, that you're looking easily at about $500 to $600 very, very easily. And it's not going to say ZEV like at all. It's not going to be officially licensed. It's going to be just a weird amalgamation of a bunch of different brand parts out there. It's just not going to have the same build quality. One thing that also often gets overlooked is just how much effort goes into putting together a premium gas-elect pistol like the OZ9 or similar custom builds out there. A lot of airsoft custom pistol builders won't tell you is just how much fitment was required to get a lot of those upgrade components that you wanted in your build to be installed in there. Not everything, unfortunately, in airsoft, especially with gas-elect pistols, is going to be a plug and play or just a drop-in fit. A lot of it will require fitment, modification, a lot of grinding of material. It just takes a lot of work to get it to work together properly and efficiently. And what PTS is offering with the OZ9, they're taking that concern out of the equation entirely for you. They're offering that same level of performance right out the box and none of the stress. All right, that's enough glazing the OZ9. Now we're gonna be moving on to something new school with a little bit of old school. We're gonna be talking about the PTS Ed Brown 1911 gas pullback airsoft pistol. I am so psyched that PTS decided to release a 1911 because the platform itself has been kind of overlooked recently. So I'm glad that PTS is deciding to spice it up a little bit by bringing a new offering to the table. And man, this looks absolutely amazing. It is sporting a full metal construction. And I gotta say, after running so many platforms that are using that sort of hybrid between a polymer frame or polymer grip module and a metal slide. It just feels good and very nice to hold something that is completely metal. Just gives that nice heft in your hands. The slide adorning the Ed Brown 1911 is going to be a replica of the ZEV Orion slide. Looks absolutely killer. I love the aggressive look to it. All the serrations throughout and the cuts on there make it look very, very mean. The suppressor height sights are a very welcome addition in case you wanted to run your 1911 as it was always meant to with just the iron sights, but come on. The fact that it can run an optic right out the box is absolutely amazing. PTS, I love you. You are not missing with this one. You absolutely cooked, and I love you for it. Now that we're done talking about and appreciating the slide, I want to take a moment to appreciate the outer barrel. I love this two-tone sort of black and silver coloration pattern we got going on right here. I like the unique dimpling on the outer barrel itself. It also comes included with a barrel stabilizer. If you notice, when I wiggle the outer barrel, there's almost no wiggle whatsoever. Very little play that you're getting with that. It's to help with your accuracy. And then just like the OZ9, thank you PTS for including a thread adapter right out the box so you can easily mount your favorite tracer unit. Moving on from the outer barrel, let's talk about the frame. It's going to be using a classic 1911 frame. I just absolutely love how thin the grip actually is. I love that classic 1911 profile. You do get a lower accessory rail on here for your favorite attachments. Of course, the fire controls, it's going to be that of a classic 1911. For my high cap users, you should feel right at home. It's going to be the exact same. And of course, because this actually is an officially licensed product, you will be finding the ZEV markings throughout the pistol, making it that much cooler. Moving on to the internals, you guessed it, the 1911 Ed Brown from PTS is actually going to be TM compatible, meaning that the upgrade possibilities for this little gas-filled airsoft pistol are honestly through the roof. You can do so much with this bad boy. However, PTS didn't just want to stop there at the TM compatibility. They wanted to give you a little bit more bang for your buck, just like we like it. They went ahead and threw in some internal upgrade components right out the gate. This is, of course, going to include a 603 Type 4 inner barrel for better range and accuracy, and an upgraded bucking 70 degree to be exact. So very similar to the OZ9 in terms of its performance output. Quick disclaimer though regarding the Ed Brown 1911, due to the fact that it is optic ready, the blowback housing unit and the nozzle are going to be that of a TMV10 spec as opposed to your traditional 1911, just because again they had to accommodate for the optic mount. Just something to keep in mind if you wanted to upgrade the Ed Brown. During my time employed at Airsoft GI, I've shot literally thousands of high kappas, thousands of Elite Force Glock, thousands of TMG series style pistols out there, but not as many 1911s. So shooting the Ed Brown 1911 was so refreshing. It's just such a comfortable angle when I'm holding it in my hands. It feels so solid. It's absolute joy to pull the trigger every single time. And in terms of its actual performance output, the range and accuracy are going to be a cut above the rest. Again, due to that combo that you got to that three-piece going on with the Type 4 inner barrel, the upgraded bucking, and the barrel stabilizer. In regards to the blowback action for the Ed Brown 1911, it is actually incredibly crispy and snappy, even with the inclusion of a red dot optic in place. And with the barrel stabilizer here as well, the slide action itself feels incredibly smooth. Now, PTS has included a very good magazine right out the box. I'm able to get through an entire magazine worth of shots, and the slide lock will activate even with the RMR in place, which is incredibly impressive. It's a very big deal in the world of 1911s, as there are many 1911s whose slide lock won't work even without a red dot installed on there. So the fact that the Ed Brown 1911 can do all that even with an optic is impressive. When shooting the Ed Brown 1911, there were a couple of small features we noticed that we think really make a big difference in the overall feel and gameplay itself. And number one's got to be the inclusion of a padded base plate for the included magazine. I think it's really sweet that PTS includes that, and I want that to become more of a standardized thing. Just to be able to help protect and preserve your magazines a little bit better in case you were to drop them. Number two has got to be the inclusion of a flared but still subdued magwell. 1911s traditionally have a problem where the magazine is really skinny, and so is the magwell. It can be sometimes you have a little bit of trouble trying to get it just right on the first try. Thankfully, with the inclusion of this subdued but flared magwell, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to funnel your magazines and put them in a lot faster. That brings us now to the price. How much does this bad boy cost? Well, the PTS ZEV Ed Brown 1911 gas blowback airsoft pistol currently retails on AirsoftGI.com's website for $180. Make sure to take advantage of the Wombo combo for reward store credit and automatic free shipping. $180, that's actually really surprising. Considering the OZ9 here is well over $200. Honestly, win for the 1911. There we go. In all seriousness, $180 for an Airsoft 1911 this well put together is absolutely nuts. There are not many other gas back Airsoft pistols, 1911 specifically, that are this stacked right out the box. And if anything too, there's definitely not a lot of 1911s out the box that perform this well. So you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is the be all end all 1911. Like, I don't even know what I can say at this point. I don't even know what I should say. I mean, is there anything else left to say? Boaz, we good here? Can I go? Get off me! What the heck are you doing? Thought we were done here. The hell is this? Now we're going to be talking about some M4s that PTS has released under the ZEV Technologies name. These are going to be the ZEV Core Elite M4 AEGs. The PTS ZEV Core Elite M4 AEG series has been around for some time, and they actually come in 3 different variations. You have your carbine length, which is ideal for outdoor gameplay. You have your SBR length, pictured here. It's going to be a jack of all trades type deal. And then you have your CQB variation, which is perfect and optimized for CQB and indoor style gameplay. Outside of the length though, there's really no difference. The PTS ZEV Core Elite is going to be sporting a full metal construction, very high quality durable metal as well. I mean, it's PTS, you would come to expect nothing less than high quality from them, but since this is a replica of a ZEV Technologies model out there, this is going to be adorned with these ZEV Technology markings throughout the construction. Of course, the fire controls are going to be that of a standard M4. You get a nice ZEV Technologies trigger on here as well. Very, very cool, very stylish and very sleek. And of course, because this is a PTS model, you will be getting PTS furniture, and this is going to of course include the EPSC and the EPGC as well. Very comfortable. Looking at the front end of the ZEV Core Elite, you are going to be sporting a sort of bronze goldish outer barrel on there. Extra points for style right there, PTS. And of course, adorning it on the outside is going to be the very popular ZEV Technologies PTS Wedge Lock handguard on here. This has got to be one of the cleanest, coolest looking M-Lock handguards on the market, and you get it right out the box. I really have to give it to PTS with the ZEV Core Elite with the inclusion of the PTS furniture on here. That is a big bonus. These 2 components alone, both the stock and the grip, on their own, if you were to buy them separately and put them on here, that would easily cost you about 80 bucks just for that. And the fact that it comes included out the box is a positive for me. It also comes included with a PTS EPM magazine as well. This is one of the most sought after magazines out there, and the fact that it comes included, that's pretty tight. And finally, using a locking bulb catch is so much fun. It's so easy to adjust your hop up on the fly. Once you have one, you never want to go back. The ZEV Core Elite is going to be sporting a standard version 2 gearbox design. Specifically, it's going to be using the SEMA Platinum gearbox in addition to the ETU. So it is going to perform very, very well, especially when paired with its 603 Type 4 inner barrel, rotary style hob chamber, and quick change spring system as well. After some range time with the ZEV Core Elite, we have to say that in terms of range and accuracy, this guy has no problem whatsoever reaching out and touching the targets that we were intending it for it to hit. It definitely is comparable to a lot of other high-end AEGs out there on the market. And the ergonomics and comfort of the ZEV Core Elite are honestly really hard to beat. It is an incredibly comfortable shooting experience. After shooting the ZEV Core Elite, we do have a few complaints. Chief among the issues, number 1 complaint that we have is actually got to be the trigger response. It just feels lacking, like it just can't really seem to meet the demands of high stress gameplay. If you are really trying to push the trigger to its absolute limits, it just feels like it's going to struggle to keep up. Interestingly enough, PTS does include an adjustable trigger on this gearbox, which is cool to see. It just feels like it's still going to end up being bottlenecked due to the motor and the ETU that you have installed onto the ZEV Core Elite. For me personally, I would swap out the original ETU, put in instead either a Nebula MOSFET, or I would put in a Gate Aster, throw in a 25K motor in there, and then you're off to the races. With all the pros and cons out of the way, let's talk about the price. Now, all the PTS ZEV Core Elite variations, the carbine, the SBR, and the CQB are all going to be retailing right now at Airsoft GI for $380. Take advantage of the Wombo combo for automatic free shipping and reward store credit. $380. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of cheddar right there. But when we break it down, You know, when you look at all the externals and everything combined, this is actually considered one of the more affordable fully licensed replicas out there in the airsoft market. Now, PTS, if you are listening, you guys absolutely nailed it in regards to the externals. It feels solid. It feels really good and incredibly comfortable. The externals look absolutely exquisite, especially with all the licensed components here. And even internally, the range and accuracy do a really good job. It does feel very competitive. It's just, again, I do think that there could be a few tweaks made in the future, maybe for a future iteration. Like we said, swapping out the ETU for something a little bit beefier, maybe going for, again, like a torquier motor. That way you can really hammer down on the trigger response of the ZEV Core Elite. Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode talking about the PTS line of ZEV Technologies airsoft models. Again, some of these models are some of my favorites of 2024, especially the airsoft pistols. But let us know what you guys think about them in the comment section down below. If you guys want to bully PTS into making the OZ9 into an Elite Force spec version, make sure to go out and do that. The community wants it, PTS. We want it. Community wants, everyone wants it. Just do it, make it. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Make sure to like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and that you're notified, hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop new content on the channel. If you guys want to continue supporting Airsoft GI, make sure to get all your airsoft goodies from airsoftgi.com. My name is Isaiah, and I'll see you guys on the next one.